What up, my good people? There's probably nobody here right now, but hopefully people will come hang out and say what's up. I'm just playing the piano, kicking it. I was working on some music earlier. Um, yeah, I got this cool little piano sound that I found. It's an old school sound, so I was on Instagram Live playing it a little bit, and I figured I'd come on YouTube. Maybe there's some people on here that don't follow me on Instagram or don't have Instagram. What up? So check out this cool little sound I got. Yeah. One thing I don't like about this chat is that I gotta always touch the keyboard to actually see the chat. How you guys doing? Oh, Heidi, you actually do have a YouTube. What do you know? What up, Donnie? Oh, what's up, Noli? I appreciate it. Or Nolly, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to mess it up. It's probably Noli, though. Maybe. Did you find me from that cop video thing I made with San Joaquin? That's not his name. That's the place he lives. Noli. Okay, Noli. Go to your phone settings. What do? I go to setting? I don't have a settings. It's a YouTube thing, though. Because, let's see. Live chat. Okay, I turned it on live chat instead of top chat. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your policy and abide by our community guidelines. But damn, it just erased again. Bastards. I don't know. I don't know why. Don't know why this chat keeps disappearing. Don't know why this chat keeps disappearing. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Ready? Everything you do, you light the spark in my mood, taking me to places I have never been. Beautiful, won't you just let me in your world? You could be the only friend I could fight in. I'll give my heart to you. I'll keep fighting for the girl I love. I'm no good for anybody else in this world. I can taste the words on my tongue. Your name might be the one word I never run away from. I wanna shout, so let me in your world, pretty miss. There's an innocence I can't resist, can't dismiss. So I wrote you a song, and it goes like this. La 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 la. That ass though. La 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 la. That ass though. La 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 la. That ass though. That ass though. Brought to you by Wheat Thins. If I had the box, just trying to think of some old ass shit. This sounds like an old sound. And I guess Wheat Thins has probably been around for a long time. Or maybe Shredded Wheat. Brought to you by Shredded Wheat. I love your voice and style. I gotta click this every time. What the industry needs. If you need a backup singer, I got you. I appreciate you. Thank you. What Wheat Thins? You don't know about Wheat Thins? See, they're so old. You didn't even know about them. Hey, look, it's my Uncle Riggs. What's cracking, Riggs? Look, what do you know? He knows some old stuff. Brought to you by Shredded Wheat. Your daily source of vitamins for breakfast. Tastes like cardboard, but if you add enough sugar, it tastes great. Sponsored by Grape Nuts. Tastes like rocks in your mouth, but with a lot of sugar and milk, they're great. I don't know why this sound is so fun to play. I hate that I have to keep moving. I should have just started it from the computer or something. Or I have the chat there, then I'll have my back to you. There's no winning here. Or maybe, am I not supposed to read your chats? Am I supposed to just entertain? Sounds like a magical forest. I know, right? That's why I had to go live. I was like, man, I can't just play the sound all by myself. I need to share it with somebody. Sounds like a... So what's a magical song that this sound would sound like to be played? And it riddled me that. I'll wait. Got my little vape addiction here. At least I don't smoke, you know? At least I don't smoke. It's vape. What's up, Dave? Thank you, man. Just chilling at the house. A carousel ride. How does the carousel ride go? All I can think of is... But a carousel ride, there's an actual song for that. I just can't think of what it is. Carousel ride. I'm trying to think. It's not like you guys can type it and hum it out for me. A carousel ride is like, it's like the Mario song I was playing. It's close enough to a carousel ride. How's it go? can't do it. Why can't I do it? Shit. I don't know, I've done it a million times and for some reason I can't do it. I was playing, was I gotta play a little and then come check and see what you guys are saying. I know the sound is classic. It's a classic sound. We need a song with that tune. What, the Mario song? Here, check out this beat I was making earlier today. I used this sample from this old school show that I have a friend who became my friend. He has a show on YouTube that he does, and he's like 70 years old, but he's had a show for a long time, and so now he uses his old theme song he used to do back in like the 80s or something. I don't know when, but he had an old buddy that made him a song, and I just used it, and I sampled it and made this track out of it. Ready? Yeah, yeah. You know what's up. That's it. That's what I started today. But I'm gonna get a buddy who goes to my church. He's a rapper. We help with the lyrics. You give us the notes. I sent it to him. I think he's gonna make something to it. It's a short loop. Can make it a great ringer. Yeah, it was a full song, but I just chopped up the parts that I thought would be good because the original song. Here, actually, I could probably play it for you. I know I downloaded it to get this, so where the hell? What I can do is I can grab this little piece of it. Watch, it probably won't even work after all that. Nope. God, annoying. Is it in my downloads? Aha! I got so many freaking downloads. Wow, how do I find it? Maybe it's not meant to be. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know how to freaking find it. It was usually in my, you know, like when you download it, it usually shows up at the bottom down here, but now it's not there, so super annoying. Oh well. Hit like to balloon the chat with more viewers. What do you mean? Show me the ways. I'm not very good at YouTube because it's really weird. I have like 17,000 subscribers and I only get a few hundred views. It's pretty annoying. And I don't know if it's because the people that subscribed just don't go on YouTube anymore or what. I look like Obi-Wan. Interesting. Never got that before. I have no idea when I subscribed to Trevor, but I'm glad I'm here. Oh, thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Much love, my friend. What were you saying? Hit the like and then balloon the chat? What does that mean? Because I have not too many options on here. Badass, though. I'm a man of symmetry. I enjoy symmetry. The golden ratio is in all creation. And that ass, though, is a great example. That ass, though. My favorite scale on the piano. Well, I like the whole tone scale's cool, but there's not as many notes in it, but it's still cool. It's like a dream, you know. And then one day I thought a dream. So that's whole tone scale. That's kind of cool. And then I like it's called a half whole step scale, and it's that's cool. And this one's cool. It's called the what's it called? Sixth diminished scale is what it is. A guy named Barry Harris made it up, and it goes. Regular scale is this. And then the sixth diminished scale is adding one more note, which is a raised fifth, because raised fifth just means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then raised, right? So you go. and it turns this to this. Which is cool. Be like, smile though your heart is aching. Yeah, it sounds like an old, exactly. It sounds like one of those old sounds. Do I like Gorillaz? Gorillaz, as in the band Gorillaz, the one that had the doom. It's the only song I really listen to. I've never been one that bought a bunch of albums. People are always surprised. I never really bought albums growing up. I always listened to the hit records that were playing on the radio and the singles. I didn't buy CDs. I messed up though because I started streaming from the camera on the bottom, so I gotta look down there when I feel like it's over here. Is there a website that show you all the scales you just played? I mean, there's always YouTube. I mean, I could show you right now. If I just turn this thing around, turn it around, and I'll show you. The whole tone scale is, it's like if you're at C, right? That's just a regular major scale. Can't hurt to know that. So it's just a major scale for 3 notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, right? And then from there you go up, skip 1 and up. Because I'm sure, I don't know, if a whole step and a half step is the difference between this is a half step, right? And this is a whole step. So if I'm going all whole steps, right? 1, skip 1, whole step, 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 skip 1, whole step. Now I'm back, right? So it's 6 notes, and then they repeat. And you can play any note, you know. So that's a whole step, half step. I mean, just a whole. Can't even talk right now. Whole tone scale. Random question: what is your opinion about toads? I hate toads. No, I'm just joking. I don't hate anything. It's our website. I read that. So the other scale was a half whole step scale. So it'd be half step. Then you skip and make it a whole step. Half step, skip, whole step. Half step, skip, whole step. Half step. So it's just back and forth, a half step to a whole step, right? Because everything is just a half step or a whole step away. And then you realize that music is only 12 notes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you're back to 1 again, which is an octave. So then you have the same thing there and the same thing there, right? All the way around. So a major scale, right? Everybody knows that. But it's all about the fingering. And I was taught this fingering. 1, 2, 3, thumb under. And then a minor scale is so if you played a major chord, it would be that. If you played a minor chord, it would be that. And you have the root, which is the lowest note. The third, which is the middle note in the middle that usually defines whether it's major or minor, because that would be the minor note. And then the fifth, right? And the key is, as I've realized over the years, is that everything is really based off of a major or minor scale with some sort of extension or altered change about it. So if you're playing, the root and the third is kind of what define whether it's major or minor, even if you don't have the fifth. The fifth note is kind of a color tone, which creates different feelings to that major or minor chord. So if you play a one and a three, right, the five is there, but I could still play, because that's a major, right? Because minor is there. So if I play this, right, and the fifth is the color, then I can move the fifth around, right, and it doesn't change it. Same with the minor chord. So then it all comes down to the context in which you play things. Because if you're just playing that out of nowhere, it might sound weird, like kind of off, you know? So yeah, that's one thing to think about, is just that the major and minor is everything pretty much, basically. I mean, there's of course other things, but you can really, and other things are going to be based off of a major or minor too, if you really dig enough into it. So, so with a C major scale, inside of C major, if I build triads going up, then you have other chords that live inside of it, right? So in C you have C major, and then you have the second, which is the second tone that's in there, and that's a D minor. And then the third tone you have E minor, which aren't. I'm just giving a rough example thing, but it is technically different than just minors. And then the fourth tone is F. Then you have G. Then A minor. Because notice they're all white notes in this, you know? Then you have B. Then C again. Sorry, I don't know if I'm going too fast. I'd really have to make some videos to really break it down slowly, and then you'd have to like, because I take for granted, I've played my whole life, so to me, what comes easy for me is not something that if you don't really play often or you haven't really absorbed it in your brain about that kind of stuff, it can go over your head pretty easy. But once you get it, it's crazy, man, because I spent my whole life just like really trying to figure out like why, like I know that there's something that's just gonna click for me with music and that I'm gonna get it and just gonna be free, and I'm always learning, and but there are certain things that have clicked with me that help me trim and weed out the fat, because like just like life and music, they're similar, and that you can be overwhelmed with thinking that there's so many possibilities that it's overwhelming and that I don't know what to do, or like I don't know anything, and just like life, we don't know anything. But there's certain little things that clicked with me that I realized that I didn't need to think about all this other stuff, because there's only a few things that really matter as far as like the basics of like understanding like harmony, and that's one of the things I was saying with the majors and minors, and that like 1 3 5, and that there's a color, the five is a color, and it's just a way of looking at it, that kind of helps you. I just get stuck in my skill level. What's your skill level? You're in Los Angeles, right? I'd be down to take a lesson with you, possible. Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles, man. I don't typically give lessons, but I mean, I'm open to it. I've done it before. Um, but I know that the way I teach music is definitely different than a standard music teacher. Like I'm not somebody who's gonna pull out a music book and teach you like how to read music or anything like that, but just you know, just harmony and how I see music, and just kind of share the way I see it. And I can show you fingering and stuff too, because that's important too. You don't want to learn the wrong fingering or something that's gonna mess you up in the long run. Which I'm not the best at, like like I have friends that are really good pianists, and like real pianists. Like I play the piano and can sing, and but there's guys that are just like total like piano nerds, man. And like, there's things that I'm not doing that's always like the right thing to do, but I mean, it works for me, you know? I hate that I have to hold this on this side or else it's gonna like, pianist. Yeah, I know, that's always been a funny word. It's like Owen Benjamin, was it hugepianist.com is his website? It's pretty funny. Yeah, you know, it's like you gotta like sit and really like go through the brain stuff, you know, like where you can really digest and you practice it and you like meditate on this shit like really slow. The key with practicing like anything is you go really slow and you make sure that you digest every step of the way. Otherwise, you know, because I mean, everybody that I just want to show something, they just want to play it fast and immediately. And so then they make bad habits and play it wrong and then they practice it wrong. But I've learned that it's all about going as slow as possible until you can perfect it slowly and then build up the speed as you go. Otherwise, you learn it wrong. Yeah, I've always played by ear. I took a little bit of lessons as a kid, but me, my ADD ass, I always got distracted because I played by ear. I'd be like, "Oh, this sounds like this song. It reminds me of this," and I was always bouncing off the walls. So, but I learned the foundation and basics, you know, like which helped me a lot because I learned fingering for like major and minor scales pretty much, and yeah, from there I just hung out with people that were really good, and I asked them questions and I listened because the key is just gravitating towards what you like to hear. You know, if you hear something and you like it, then you dissect it and you figure out why you like it, and then you can play it, and then you keep doing that, and then all of a sudden you got an arsenal of things that you love, and that becomes your style because everything that you play is something that you kind of grabbed from that you liked. You know, like I love this shit. Like I remember this my whole life. I've always liked that simple walk down, and it's a timeless thing that you know people do, and you can. Because I was showing you the major minor thing, right? And you have 1 3 5 on the minor, right? So the three is like my like grounded like spot, right? It's the center. So if I can drop down this every time, right? Or I can raise the 5, right? Or you can do both. It's weird. You've heard that in a million songs. It's like James Bond. I'm like washing my hand through the screen. Anyways, um, yeah. So I can't improve my singing. I feel so stuck. Any advice for the vocals? Um, my advice for vocals is just sing every day. If you really like to sing, then you're gonna sing. You know, that's all it's about. And for me, I sang most of my life every day. And there was a time in my life when I was so obsessed with how certain people sounded that I wanted to sound just like them. And so I would just like really sing their songs and get every lick they did. You know, like until I thought that I sounded like them. I'm like, yeah, I sound like that guy. You know, and I don't know. and then I'd move on to another person, and I'd want to like emulate them and try to sound like them and copy them. And it's just like I was saying with the piano, you know, you like certain things, and you just ask why it sounds the way it does, and like what about it is it that makes it sound like that? Is it like, because with singing, it's like in music, it's like you have a, you know, you could sing a note, ah, right, or it could have like a ah vibrato, ah, whatever. Like it move. There's textures and things about it, and you hear the inflections in people's voices, and you just try to copy them, and then after a certain amount of time, are you just copying people and doing what you like to do? You starts to come out because you are like everything that you've loved, you know. And it's the same way I feel like in life with people or anything, you know. You I feel like there's only 12 notes on the piano, right? And I think that there's only 12 kinds of people if you think about it, right? Like, have you ever seen in movies that there's like, oh, it's that guy, everybody knows that guy, or it's that girl, everybody knows that girl. Like, there's only 12 personalities or types of people, and then in that 12 you can create all these different types of things that look like they're different but they're all the same. And I don't know, I think about music the same way. Like, music has shown me so much about comparing to life, and like how I can look. It's like with what makes a good song is a beginning. It has an intro, right? And we're born just like life. We're born, we have an intro, and inside that song we have a journey, and we have our ups and our downs. And what makes a good song is you have an intro, something that like builds into something, and then it goes up into the climax of the hook or whatever, or the orgasm, if you will. And then in that, and then once you're up there, like there's nowhere to go except back down into the second verse. It's like a roller coaster. And like life has these dynamics, you know, of like ups and downs, and sad and happy, and emotions that are just like moving around. And music is the same way. It has a lot of and music is all math too, which is crazy because like for me, in school, I hated school, and they stuck me in these like special classes and everything, and I got legit to have an education. And but I'm thankful for it because I didn't learn a bunch of bullshit, and I wasn't interested in, like, I hated the way they taught math, and I never saw like the similarities of music and math and stuff like that until I really like digested the music stuff later on, and I learned about the Fibonacci sequence, which if you don't know about the Fibonacci sequence, you should check it out. It's like a sequence of numbers that shows up in all of creation and life. But like I started questioning the number zero and wondering why zero is not acknowledged as a number, because when you get to like the number 10, that's pretty much zero, you know? And 11 is 1 and 12 is 2. 20 is 0, 21, right? So I'd wonder like, well, why don't we count 0, 1 then? And so that like kind of got me on the path of like numbers, and loving like numbers. What up, guys? You're so good. Are you a god? Yeah, right. No, it's all God's credit though. I do believe in God, and I think God is the number zero. It's funny you say that because zero, just like God, a lot of times isn't acknowledged in life, you know, and in society and the way it is. It's like, oh yeah, zero doesn't matter, it doesn't exist, and it's not enough, and I need to have more than zero, you know. And I realized like zero's the best number because if you're zero, you don't have to know what you're missing. And if you're zero, are you transgender? How'd you know? And if you're zero, I'm not even high, but zero has no resentments. It has no thought of the past or the future. It just is, you know, in the present moment. If you start a stopwatch, it starts at zero, right? It's like zero, and then the milliseconds count, and then it goes to one. It doesn't start on one, but when we count, we're like one, two, right? But reality is the present moment starts at zero. And until we start using a stopwatch or like counting, keeping track of time, that's when numbers happen. But at the present moment, at all times, right now, and right now, and right now, and right now, it's all zero. So zero is the best number. I know I'm trolling. Are you bilingual or are you straight? I'm 100% heterosexual, my friend. Um, it is a trip, right, Dave? It's a trip. So that's what kind of got me on like numbers and shit. It was like probably like 5 years ago is when I started tweaking out on it. I was like, man, colors. What's my favorite color? I don't know, man. I think we get sick of anything that we have that's just one thing all the time. Right now, I got these colored lights in my room. I got this color and this color going on. But I appreciate different colors when they change, you know? It's like seasons. And you know what's crazy about 12 notes on the piano or in Western music scale is that the number 12, right? There's 12 months in a year. There's 12 numbers on a clock. There's 12 disciples. There's what else has 12? There's everything has there's 12 to a government. There's 12. What else is there of 12s? There's a lot of 12 shit. And like if you know what numerology is, it's when you take 12 slices of pizza exactly. In numerology, you take two-digit numbers and you condense it down to one digit, right? So 12 would be 3 because you got 1 plus 2 equals 3, right? And with 12 notes, right? You need 3 tones to create a scale. I mean a chord. So it's like this chord, right? That's 3 notes. So it's just like weird how there's these little like realizations I've had about life and numbers and how they're all like a trip. I stopped smoking weed too. You wouldn't guess, but I did. Damn, I got 16 people watching me right now. Are you guys all chatting with me? Are you guys all saying something? Or are you just not saying shit? Trevor Wesley, are you voting for Trump or the communists? Well, I've learned my lesson about speaking on what I'm my political views. I feel like I want to just keep that to myself because people out here, it's like my career's on the line at that point. I've learned like people don't if they don't agree with you, they don't like you. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just keep that to myself. It used to be like that back in the day where people would kind of be more conservative, if you say, with their own thoughts and I like you no matter what, as long as you don't vote for the communist. Who's the communist? I ain't. I'll tell you what. I ain't voting for Hillary. I wouldn't do that because I know she's evil. I can see it. I just smell bullshit when she talks. Oh, Bernie. No. Panda. I appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah. I'm not. I don't know. I've always hated, not hated, but I did never liked musicians or like artists and stuff that kind of like use their platform to be political because they're the ones that are really screwing shit up. They screw it all up because they have this like influence and then they say something about politics and then all the like young people and everybody like screws it all up. It's like they everyone's so hateful and angry and the way I see politics is the way I see life, you know, is that it's good and evil. It's yes or no. It's good or bad. It's on or off. It's up or down. Like there's a lot of gray area intellectual space that a lot of people use, which has reasons and excuses. And a lot of my life, I used to like live in that intellectual gray area space where I would always have some intellectual answer that would make justify certain things, like it's not day or nighttime, it's dusk, and here's why. It's like, nah, it's actually nighttime or it's daytime. And life is a lot easier to just think of it in that way. And if you think about computers, man, computers and virtual realities and the way they create realities is through binary code, which is ones and zeros, which means it's 0 or 1. It's one or the other. So you can't teeter on your little swimming in the ocean and you're like, well, I could grab this buoy, but I could also grab this over here, the seagull. It's like, well, pick one and survive. And I think as a man too, it's like I want to make habits of choosing and making a decision and being firm on it. But I've realized, and thanks to Jesse too, is that when we forgive and we don't have any anger and we're not like driven by emotions, then we're able to have more of a logical thoughts process, and we don't even have a thinking process so much anymore. We just kind of know because we're not distracted by emotions. I think being emotional is what makes us kind of live in that intellectual space where we can't make decisions because we're like pulled around by like what we feel like. Like I feel like this, but my mind is telling me no. But since I forgave, like I did all that shit of what the Jesse talks about being forgiving and talking to your parents and your mainly mothers. Like everything he says about mothers is so true to me, man. Because it was like, and I met all these men that are going to church now. And I go to this men's meeting, and it's all the same story, man. The same story. So it's like I really resonate with that stuff. But like the politics and everything, it's secondary. Like you kind of start to see the light in the politics because you see the good and evil and the spiritual battle that we're in. And when we realize how easy it is to see that in a black and white way, where it's just yes or no, or it's like not the gray area so much, then we're able to actually see the bullshit. And when you don't have anger anymore, you can see the people that do have anger, and it like gives your discernment levels. It's like a cheat code, man. It's no joke. This is a spiritual battle. I'm sure you'll get in, dude. Get in where? Where am I getting? You didn't cheat because you're destined to cheat. There's always a factor that made you cheat. I know with music, I'd always like ask my buddy. I'd be like, "Man, what's like some tricks with the piano?" He's all tricks. He's like, "There is no tricks." He's like, "If you can do something, you can do it." But I'd always like try to find the easy way to like figuring stuff out. But to me, it would be a trick because it would be like some way to get it. It like it clicks for me. So be like, "Oh, what do you say? How did I meet Jesse?" I met Jesse right at the right time in my life. It was a, I'll just say that it was a really good time in my life. I was going through a hard time last year, and I went on YouTube and I found his Rebuilding the Man channel, which is like a church thing, and I never knew about Christianity. Like I grew up with my parents and my mom. She was a spiritual person, and I always grew up going to different churches, and I had friends of all different races and ethnicities, and I went to their churches, and I was always like spiritual. So um, I always had God in my life, but I never really knew what it meant to be a Christian or like, and the thing that like attracted me to Christianity and is the order in it, because music is all order, right? You don't just stumble across harmony on accident. It's like, no, you have to harmonize and create this thing a certain way to make it sound good and be harmonious. So the order about Christianity is what made me be like, damn, that's crazy. And if you know about the Fibonacci sequence, like I was saying, the Fibonacci sequence here, I'll pull it up on my computer so you can see it. Because if I tell you, it's not going to be as impactful. But I, I learned about the Fibonacci sequence before I really knew what it meant to be a Christian and have. And like my idea of Christianity in the past has always been kind of like, oh, those people think they're better than everybody else, and like all the examples of Christians I've seen were always like fakers or like people that were kind of like stroking their own like ego, thinking that they were holier than other people or whatever. And because a real Christian has no anger and has mastered the ability to not be judgmental about anything, about a person, about themselves. And the difference between judgment and discernment is that judgment has a feeling attached to it, and it's so true, man. Because I used to really be judgmental and not realize it because I'd have all these feelings, and those feelings that I felt about other people controlled me. Like I think about what someone did to me, or like way someone looked at me, or like all these outside things that just like controlled the way I felt all the time, and it was super beta. But then when I forgave and I started doing that silent prayer and everything, it like really helped me, and I overcame that. And I swear, like it's been like 8 months. I haven't been angry one time. The only time I've been angry is when I was hangry. I was so hungry that I was just irritated. But I realized, I was like, damn, that's the only time. Just once. So I'm going to pull up this Fibonacci sequence. And I'll tell you about the order I'm talking about. So here, I don't know if this is a good way to show you guys. So it creates this golden spiral, right? And you have, are you out of here, Papico? All right, Papico, beat it. Move it or lose it, sister. I appreciate you hanging out. Smitty, you're a JLP fan, I say, I take it. Dope. I'm finally reading these. I was asking if you ever went to audition singing. I've done a couple little auditions like a long time ago, but I've never really wanted to be on one of those shows. So like one, right? You have, first I'll show you the actual numbers. Let's not put the horse before the carriage. You know what I'm saying? Then I started talking about Christianity, and I lost some viewers. Show me the order. Criminy. Why can't I see? I can't see shit. Man, what a joke. I always like saying that. What a joke. All right, here's the numbers, right? You have 0, see? And then 0 births 1, right? And now if you're 1, all you know is 0 and yourself. So you're duplicated. And you have 1 again. And now if you're this one, all you know is 1 and yourself. And that's duplicated. It creates 2. And now if you're 2, all you know from the past is 1 and yourself. So that makes 3. If you're 3, you look back in your rearview mirror and all you see is 2 and you're 3. So 3 plus 2 is 5. So and the story goes, right? It's any digit in its previous number. So that's the Fibonacci sequence. And if you do it in like geometry or whatever, where it's like, okay, you have 1 and then you have 1 again. It's so small you can't really see it. That's what she said. But if you're doing it in squared terms like this, it creates this spiral around, right? And if you look at this square, like you'd think that like half of something would be a line like straight down. If it was just like straight here, like it would be half of that, right? But the golden ratio, like it just curves around like this. And I see it kind of like good and evil too, in a sense that like goodness is so much stronger and bigger, right? But evil's over here too, and you need to have the balance of good and evil to acknowledge that it's not, that without evil you wouldn't understand what goodness was, right? But evil, I mean, goodness is so much stronger, so it's like it's not a completely, and it I don't know. That's just the way I'm saying. I've just kind of like thought about it and thought of that. So with the Christian order, I was saying, this is what trips me out, man. And I didn't read this anywhere. I just like I realized it. Is that the order of Christianity, they say, is God, God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. And when it says man over woman, what does that mean? That means that man is the provider, and he's the more logical one, because women are naturally more emotional, you know, like they're nurturers and they're mothers, and they're more caring and emotional. And a man should be more logical to be able to figure out solutions for his family And so there's this thing called being the head of your wife, which means that you're the head of your wife, and your wife is the head of the house, and it creates this order to like have good families, you know. And I never really knew that. So the Fibonacci sequence, right? The Fibonacci sequence is in the Bible. It says that God created, and I never knew this, that God created Adam with his hands, Adam and Eve, right? And he created Eve from Adam's rib. So I thought of this Fibonacci sequence, which is found in all of creation, everywhere. And so imagine the Fibonacci sequence. You're at 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, right? So imagine God is 0, right? And God's like, all right, I'm going to create the number 1, which is man in Christ and Christ in man, right? So as a man, Christ is in me. That's number 1. And number 2 is Eve. I mean, number 1 again. Sorry if I'm confusing it. So you got 0, 1, which is Adam and Christ. And then 1 is created again from Adam's rib, because 1 was duplicated from itself, right? So that's the same shit. And then 2 is duality, which is the marriage between a man and a woman. And 3 is the children, and so on. And then creation happens. And it keeps going down that spiral of life. But I just thought that was pretty sweet to realize. Yeah, you know, it's no for no reason. They're like, yeah, she's a crazy old lady. Like, yeah, single ladies that they go crazy. They do. If they don't have a good man, and I'm not saying not all, but in my life, I've seen like a woman does need a good man to keep her sane. And I don't say that as like being an asshole or anything, but like a man, like a real man, you know, not like an emotional like woman man, but like a man that has no anger and is logical and loves God and loves what's right in his life. He's going to be the one that's going to be able to help her find her peace, you know? For sure. And I don't mean to sound like a preacher. I don't mean to be sitting here like talking so much, but I get excited talking about this stuff. Why are you so underrated? Hey, I appreciate it, man. You know, it's been a frustrating thing for me, but then it's also I'm thankful for it. It's like I've been doing this music thing for like 13 years, like in this business, you know, and I've really worked my ass off, and I've gone through so many like hurdles, and it's been an emotional ride because along that whole ride, like I was a super beta, you know. I grew up with my mom and my sister kind of like predominantly being around me, and my dad was working all the time. And so like it wasn't until last year that I really realized like dang, like I had this like feminine energy about me that I didn't even realize, because I had like a mother that kind of like imposed her will and was very, you know, like outspoken about what she thought and everything, and I kind of took it to heart, and having a sister, and there's a lot of anger in my house, and fighting and drama, and so I absorbed all of that, and I thought that I was like cool, but until I forgave, like I didn't realize how much that stuff like really affected me. So in the music industry and stuff, like looking back, it's like I had so many excuses and blaming and all these things about why certain things didn't happen. I had these expectations because, you know, I had a mom that always told me I was talented, and she believed in me, and it was awesome to have that. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I had this expectation that things were going to happen a certain way for me. And when they didn't, I was just kind of like butthurt about it, you know? And so it feels good now to like to just be grateful for what I have, and not expect anything, because that means anything that comes my way I can be grateful for and I can appreciate it, and it's not like it's not enough or whatever, you know? Because that's what it's about, you know? I shouldn't have any expectations, and just because I've worked really hard and I have talent, and you know, it doesn't mean that I'm owed anything. It just means that's what I have, that I have a gift, and that I've watered that flower of music and worked at it, and it does pay off. You know, I'm thankful for it. But it doesn't mean that I'm like Bruno Mars or anything like that. You know, like I'm not a huge famous person and rich. I'm able to get by doing what I love, and that's enough. And I know that anything that you keep at and doing, there's a reason for it. And I'm just gonna keep on doing my thing and connecting with you guys, and hopefully you guys can help spread the word about my music. And if you believe in me, and it's like I want to be able to have fans that are here for the long haul, and that are like that love me for me, and not just because it's like I had a song that went viral like a few years ago called "Chivalry Is Dead," and it got like millions of streams, and there was like a good year where people were hitting me up, like I had like engagement all the time. It was like I could tell a huge drastic difference when that happened compared to like now or before that, because there were so many people that like were championing me because it was popular at the time, because it was popular, and other people were talking about the song or me. And I realized like once that kind of died away, like those people died away too. But then there was like a handful of people that stuck around and still believed in me, and that loved my music and hit me up and messaged me. So I know that like a lot of times like people don't really love you. They just kind of love that you're popular for that time. You know. But yeah. I feel like I'm rambling on. I apologize. Yep, in nature as well. Warning. Phi is a little disturbing at times. Pi. You ever heard of National Pi Day? They have? I remember when I learned about the Fibonacci sequence. I was like, they have National Pi Day? That's crazy. I thought I was the only one that knew about pi and golden ratio. Man. Are your teeth healthy? Because I'm a dentist, and I suggest and recommend that you come into our offices immediately, if not sooner. I hope so. As a singer, I gotta smile for the cameras. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Trevor. It's been a while. It's me, Riley. Oh snap! Is that Riley from the old spot, the pad? There's only one Riley I know. What's up, man? I look like Philippines. What's up, bro? What's up, bro? If I want to load it up with fluoride, all I gotta do is put it under the tap water, because our water here is loaded with it, loaded with that fluoride. Have you heard about that conspiracy that the fluoride in the water is to ruin our what's it called? The pineal gland, because our pineal gland is what kind of like stimulates our God senses or whatever. I don't know. There's all these conspiracies out there. It's pretty insane. It's blinking. See, isn't that crazy that the Fibonacci sequence and it syncs up with the order, because it's all in creation. Like there's an order in all of creation, and the Christian order is the man or God, God in Christ, Christ in man, man in woman, man, all that stuff. It's just crazy to me to realize that, like that's scientific proof that order makes sense. It's a trip. I don't have the best singing voice right now. God, it's like God. The air is like really dry. I haven't slept all day. You know, is that from Step Brothers? I'll play it for you with this cool little sound I have. Just let your head down, let's paint the whole town. Life is our playground. But I'm not a kid no more, so I must open doors and make you feel like the lady you are. My mama raised me to be classy, not flashy. I'm happy to please you, though I can tell that's not what you're used to. I don't have the sound up here or down here. It goes right in here. And they say chivalry is dead, dead, dead. Girl, let a real man pick up the slack and treat you with respect. You don't have to love me, love me, love me. You don't have to love me. Show day. Come on. You know this song? Uh. Uh. Um, Dang, on this new computer, I don't have any music on here. But I'll play this track again that I started. Everybody in town's jamming to it, man. Come on through. I know you can do it. We can fight together. Hey, man. Thanks for coming out, man. Yeah. Mr. President, yeah. Oh, yeah, I see you. Yeah. Yeah. Stand up. Yeah. I don't know what to play. I feel like I've been on here forever and I don't want to exhaust you guys. But I'm sure you could leave at any time. Hey, Carl. Thank you, Carl. Dave, appreciate you, man, if you didn't leave already. Thank you, brother, for hanging out. Oh, San Joaquin, what do you know? It's my bro. Yeah, I'm glad you liked that song, bro. If you're still in here, I don't know if you bounced. How's it go? Coming to the stage. Like, remember this song? Oh yeah, who can say what this is from? Ready? This is. We'll see if you know what song this is from. Nobody? Alright, who knows what this is from? Why that sounds so funny? It's from Zelda. Back in the day, it was a level. Most people recognize that one. And that concludes our broadcast day. You used to play Zelda, then you recognize this. Who knows what this is from? What up, Riggs? You're still here? Of course you know that. Welcome to Delta Airlines. Today we offer you a horrible snack and no food on this flight. Once was a man who jerked off with his hand, I've heard of a one-some, I've heard of a two-some. Now I know why everybody calls me handsome. I've heard of a one-some, I've heard of a two-some. Now I know why everybody calls me handsome. It was an original song written by me just now. Brought to you by Corn Nuts. Alright guys, been on here way too long. About to get up, I'm out of here. We're trying to get my sleep cycle back on track because I've been up all night and sleeping at 9 a.m. Going to bed in the morning, and that's totally messed me up, man. I could see it in my face. I could see it. So I'm going to get off here and try to take some sleeping medication right here. This Excedrin PMs. Take my ass to sleep. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate the love. And, oh, I'm just seeing it. Play Golden Lady. That's one song I never learned. I never learned it. Alright, guys. Much love. Thanks for hanging. Yeah, I gotta get out of here, man. Time flies when I'm on here. It's already 11 o'clock. Shit. Alright, but thanks for hanging, guys. And go show me some love on my recent videos. I posted some new videos. I don't know how it shows up on my channel to other people, but I assumed that it was a good idea to create these playlists. Like I got like forced collaborations, I got my live videos, just different playlists. But I think when you go to my channel, it doesn't show my recent uploads. It's just, I don't know. I'm trying to get YouTube down. Trying to figure that shit out.